The Aztec Empire is remembered for the Venice of South America, a massive city constructed on small islands on Lake Texcoco, stunning temples rising from the jungle floor, and brutal human sacrifice.
Mention the Mayans and people immediately think of their calendar. People remember their stone pyramids and their strange hieroglyphs and their artworks.
The Olmecs were less known, but they too were a Mesoamerican culture that left behind earthen temples and pyramids, massive stone heads, and strange religious rituals.
But who were these people? Where did they come from? And what happened to them?
With these genetic linkages, we can tie the 1000 BC migration to the fall of the Shang dynasty. So there's genetic linkages back to East Asia, back to the Chinese era. Specifically, I can map that with DNA, and we can find political events that seem to explain why there may have been a movement of peoples around that time into the Americas. With regards to the 100 BC migration, the Han dynasty is one of the more famous dynasties in Chinese history. It's sort of the Roman equivalent in East Asia, if you compare it to European history. They were just beginning to rise and sort of push off some of their northern enemies. The specific northern enemies in this case were the Xiongnu. They're one of the more famous ones if you study Chinese history. They had been ruling northern China. They get pushed out, and oftentimes if you get defeated, you go looking for new pastures, essentially, so it makes sense they would migrate into the Americas and start building a new empire. The 8400s ties to the Huns. They were invaders into Europe around the fall of the Roman Empire, and I can genetically specifically tie this American migration to them. I can say with confidence the American invaders were in fact genetic relatives of the Huns who invaded Europe. The more we look, the more we see this confirmed over and over again, which is one of the strongest apologetic arguments, again, for the young Earth view of the human genetic history.
The Aztec